To actually use NotebookLM, just go to notebooklm.google.com. So what we're really going to do is create a new files. So when we search for your potential mentor, you look at their work. So let's just say you're looking for me, Thomas Jan CSUN, right? Google Scholar is where you would really want to go to see what is their breadth of work. And this breadth of work spans across many years. The thing with finding a mentor, you want to make sure you're finding things that they currently do, because things that maybe they don't do anymore, like I used to do a lot of rat research. I don't do that anymore, but that's part of my training in psychobiology, right? Especially developmental psychobiology. So what you really want to do is maybe sort by year, and you could see most recently, oh, this guy does hologram stuff. He does mentoring work, a lot of aging stuff, so artificial intelligence stuff. So let's just pick the mentoring route. So best thing to do is just literally download the PDFs of these files. So you would go here and then download that. And then you put that in there. So again, two to three. I would try to stick with 3 articles, just so you get a bigger breadth. Make sure when you see this, you're also seeing the same area, So get that article. Got it. So now that we have those 3 articles, what you do, so you go to create new. So then we upload the sources. So we're going to upload those 3 papers right here, and then they should load here. So this left panel is of your sources. So now it's reading the sources, it's reading them and making that part of the language model. So let's just say you want to label your notebook Mentoring Chan Research. Okay, so here is that. It gives you 3 sources. It tells you that. You could also get an audio review. I love this feature. You could generate, and it's going to make a digital podcast, essentially, in which you could be interactive. And I'll give you a little glimpse of that. So everything is loaded. So normally you would read also these papers, like at least skim them. But to get to just to understand it more, especially on a deeper level, this is where any large language model could help. So let's just say, provide me a top level summary of all the research articles. Put this in a table format. I like to use table format just because it provides a lot of structure, a little easier to see. So here it is. So we see that here's a top level summary. This is the study, the main research questions to examine whether past work mentoring actively predicts generative achievements. And it gives like the sample, the methods, the findings. And the great thing about NotebookLM, because it is based on your sources, is rarely hallucinates, even though it can hallucinate, but it rarely does, really rarely. I've only seen it hallucinate when you confuse it with like multiple authors or coming up with things that are very abstract. But all right, this is perfect. So this is how you could conversate. And here's the best thing. It makes into a podcast if you just want to listen to it. You could download this as well, but you could listen to it.
All right, diving in today, getting into some really, really interesting stuff. We're going to be looking at how people find meaning later in life and what affects whether young people get mentors.
Yeah, should be fascinating.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. You shared some studies about retired academics and mentorship, and then another one about youth mentorship. So I think our mission here is to kind of see what they say about lasting impact, right? So the big picture purpose of this kind of research, looking at mentoring and well-being, is really about understanding how we can lead more fulfilling lives, especially as we get older.
Exactly. It's about figuring out what kinds of experiences and relationships contribute to our sense of meaning, purpose, and overall happiness across the lifespan.
And these particular studies we're looking at today, they're digging into how something like being a mentor or having a mentor can have these lasting effects, even years down the road.
What's fascinating here is that they're trying to build a stronger connection between what we do in our careers and how we feel about our lives as a whole, especially in retirement.
All right. So once we use that chat feature and everything, you could also ask a question such as, tell me about the statistics used in these studies. And getting at the statistics, well, I like to go into statistics, but that just kind of separates you. You could also go into the methods, CFA, confirmatory factor analysis. So let's just say you don't know what that is. Like, tell me in lay people's terms, what is CFA? So let's break down confirmatory factor analysis, a simple term. You measure an abstract idea. So it gives you really nice breakdown of it, a summary of it as well. So you can understand it. You could do this also when you're talking to the host. You could do that too. I like to just do this in the chat format. Also, you could be like, can you give me 3 future directions to expand upon all this mentoring and research? So now it's drawing upon longitudinal impacts of mentoring, investigating diversity, scope of developmental networks. So developmental, okay. Next comes, I just drafted it here, the email. So really, these are just a couple of parts. You just say hi, right? You say your name. You really want to highlight some warmness in terms of, oh, I'm in your class, or I took your class, or you're in my department, I saw your research, something along those lines of connecting you to them. And then you're fascinated about their work, about their types of research. And then, but then you went beyond that. You are actually read and like went into their articles beyond the fascinating part. Everybody's interested. So there's so many students that are interested in your work, but there's very few that actually just go above and beyond. So that's where you want to convey. And then to show that, right? Instead of just telling, you're showing that you, particularly for this paper, you're wondering if there are differences in biological versus psychological, and then the measurement of it. So really getting at specific questions that may add to their line of work, and then you would discuss then your future directions. So really, you don't want to ask like, are you accepting people right now? Because they don't know you. They don't know you like that, because to take on a mentee takes a lot of work, especially if you're doing it well. So you want to just really showcase first through the email, like that you're interested in it, you've done your work, you've done your homework, and this is how you think you could expand or you want to know more about. Cheers, your name, and then you say your availability, just to be more proactive. These are the steps, to get mentorship, and using AI to do that. And then you will build those quantitative skills along the way, especially with your mentor's advisement. Hope that you found that helpful. Let me know if you want to do anything else or getting more into this.